Breaking news! Things are hot behind the scenes at the Detroit Lions. Coach Dan Campbell is looking forward to the start of the preseason. Not just him, but us too. Man, I hope Brad Holmes can get some good players. Our team needs to be strong to fight for the Super Bowl. A lot of people call me crazy when I talk about the Super Bowl, but man, we as fans should be the first to believe we have to apply this energy and transmit this atmosphere to the players on game days. If you agree with me and are a true Lions fan, hit the like button hard. If possible, comment like this: "Go Lions! Let's go to the Super Bowl." Now, I want to draw your attention to an important subject. I want you to remember 2 years ago. Think about that incredible moment. The Detroit Lions eliminating the Packers from the playoffs, Jamal Williams in the center of it all, giving that unforgettable and emotional speech. He was the heart of the locker room, a fan favorite, and the kind of player who embodied everything Detroit stood for. And now, he's a free agent, cut by the New Orleans Saints after just one disappointing season. It's crazy to think about. The Lions let him walk after 2022 despite his record-breaking 17-touchdown season. And now, the same guy who was once seen as essential to Detroit's future is looking for a new team just 1 year later. What happened? Did he make a mistake? Was it bad luck? Or was it just a case of the Lions seeing what others didn't? When Williams hit free agency, Brad Holmes publicly stated that he was a priority. But negotiations got ugly. Reports surfaced that the Lions actually offered him more than David Montgomery's $18 million deal, but Williams declined, feeling the offer was disrespectful. Instead, he signed with the Saints for 3 years, $12 million. And in New Orleans, disaster. Just 2 total touchdowns, a far cry from his dominance in Detroit. He wasn't the same player. Injuries, scheme adjustments, coaching decisions, it all added up. And now, just 2 years after leading the NFL in rushing touchdowns, he's out of a job. Think about it. How many times in the past did Detroit make the mistake of holding on to a player too long because of nostalgia? For years, this franchise was built on emotion rather than strategy. But that's changed under Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. They make the tough decisions, even when they're unpopular. And every single time, they've been proven right. Look at the way they handled other departures. TJ Hawkinson, gone. And yet, the offense hasn't skipped a beat. Jeff Okudah, gone. And the defense got better. DeAndre Swift, traded. And they upgraded with Gibbs. The front office has shown time and time again that they know when to move on. That's why the Lions aren't just a fun team anymore. They're a real contender. And this is where it gets interesting. Could Jamal Williams have actually held this team back if they had kept him? It sounds crazy, but think about it. If they had overpaid him in 2023, they likely wouldn't have signed Montgomery. If they hadn't signed Montgomery, maybe they don't draft Gibbs. And without that duo, does the Lions offense take the leap that it did? Maybe not. Sometimes, letting go of a player isn't just about the player himself. It's about opening the door for something better. And honestly, that's what makes this whole thing so bittersweet. Williams was never a bad player. He was never a bad teammate. He didn't do anything wrong. But in the business of the NFL, the timing has to be right. And his timing just wasn't right anymore in Detroit. So where does this leave him now? Does he still have something left in the tank? Maybe. He's the kind of player who could fit into a veteran leadership role on a young team. Maybe a squad like the Panthers or the Cardinals takes a chance on him. Maybe he ends up as a depth piece somewhere. But one thing's for sure, he's not the guy he was in 2022. And unfortunately for him, the Lions realized that before anyone else did. And that's what makes this such a fascinating story. If Jamal Williams had stayed, maybe things would have turned out differently. Maybe he'd still be scoring touchdowns behind this offensive line, still feeding off the energy of Ford Field, still delivering those hilarious post-game interviews. But he left. He bet on himself. And the Lions moved on. So, I want to hear from you. Does this situation change the way you look at Jamal Williams? Does it make you appreciate how smart the Lions front office has been? And if you had the power, would you bring him back, even if just for a backup role? Let me know in the comments. And as always, go Lions.
Now, let's be real. Should the Lions even consider bringing him back? On paper, there's no room. Detroit's running back room is set. David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs are a lethal duo. Craig Reynolds is a solid depth piece. There's no logical way to justify adding Williams. But for the fans, there's always that emotional pull. He was part of the team that turned things around. He was one of Dan Campbell's guys, part of that 2021 squad that laid the foundation for what the Lions are today. But nostalgia doesn't win football games. And the reality is, Williams' best days might already be behind him. He was in the perfect situation in Detroit, an elite offensive line, a coaching staff that used him effectively, a locker room that thrived on his energy. Outside of that bubble, he struggled. It makes you wonder, does he regret not staying? Would he have taken a different approach in negotiations if he knew how it would turn out? Maybe. Maybe not. But one thing's for sure, the Lions made the right call. They replaced him with a younger, more dynamic backfield, and the team is better for it. Let's break this down even further because it's one of those situations that really makes you think. 2 years ago, Jamal Williams was at the peak of his career. He was the emotional leader of the Lions, breaking Barry Sanders' single-season rushing touchdown record, giving post-game interviews that became instant classics, and fueling Detroit's resurgence. The energy, the passion, the charisma, it all clicked. But here's the truth that's hard for some fans to accept. The Lions didn't need him anymore. As much as we loved Williams, Brad Holmes saw what was coming. He knew that Williams wasn't the long-term answer at running back. And instead of overpaying for past production, the Lions pivoted. They went after Montgomery, a younger and more versatile back, and then doubled down in the draft by selecting Jahmyr Gibbs. That decision? Absolute perfection. The Montgomery-Gibbs duo has been everything Lions fans could have hoped for. Montgomery brought that tough, physical, between-the-tackles running style. Gibbs added the explosive, big play ability that Williams simply didn't have. And together, they've been one of the best backfields in the league. Meanwhile, Williams went to the Saints and struggled. The numbers don't lie. After 17 touchdowns with Detroit in 2022, he managed just 2 in New Orleans. He didn't even make it through 2 full seasons before the Saints decided to move on. And here's the kicker. If Jameis Winston hadn't audible to get Williams a touchdown in the final game of the season, he would have finished the year with just 1. That's not just a decline. That's a free fall. Now, let's talk about what this means for Jamal Williams himself. Where does he go from here? He's 28 years old, which, for a running back, is that dangerous territory where teams start to get wary. His production has dropped off significantly, and, to be brutally honest, he might struggle to find another starting job in the league. Maybe he catches on somewhere as a rotational back, but the days of him being the focal point of an offense, those are probably over. And that brings us back to the original question. Does he regret how things went down with Detroit? If he had accepted the Lions' offer, he'd still be part of this team, still running behind one of the best defensive lines in football, still playing for a coaching staff that knew how to use him. He might not have gotten as many carries with Gibbs in the mix, but he would have remained a key part of a winning culture. Instead, he bet on himself, and it backfired. This is the brutal reality of the NFL. One moment, you're on top of the world. The next, you're looking for a job. The Lions recognized this before anyone else did. They made the tough call. They moved on. And now, 2 years later, it's clear they made the right decision. And here's the best part. None of this really matters anymore because the Detroit Lions are built to win. This isn't the same old Lions team making emotional decisions and hoping for the best. This is a team with a clear vision, a ruthless front office, and a head coach in Dan Campbell who has completely changed the culture. No matter what happens with Jamal Williams, this team is moving forward. We've got the roster, we've got the mindset, and we've got the leadership to take this all the way. Lions fans, the future is now. Dan Campbell is leading us to something special, and this time, we're not just here to compete, we're here to win. So buckle up, because this ride is just getting started. Go Lions!